there. For many parents, resolving conflicts and settling fights is not easy, and doing so peacefully, it can be very invasive. Beth Lefevre of Redirecting Children's Behavior South Florida is here to tell parents how to keep the peace before a problem escalates into a war. Welcome.
Thank you.
I guess the most interesting thing you were telling me before the show is that we all, or a lot of us, fear conflict. Parents certainly don't want conflict with their children, and yet you say conflict can be good.
Absolutely. You know, it's kind of like electricity. When out of control, it's destructive. But when controlled, who can live without electricity, right? And the same thing with conflict. If we start looking at conflict as if it's got some wonderful propositions that we can actually move forward in our lives. First of all, conflict is part of our lives, so we might as well, you know, everybody knows it's part of our lives, so get used to it.
But people try, lots of people, especially parents, try to avoid conflict.
Right.
And sometimes that can be dangerous when bringing up a child.
Yeah, it can be very dangerous because in avoiding conflict, often we give in to our children. We give in to our spouses. We give in when we really don't agree to it, and then we get resentful. So the very first thing to do is, like, let's get to the point. Conflict is going to happen. And when it happens, the very first thing to do is that's not when to take action. You know the old thing, you stop and count to 10?
Right.
Well, that had a reason.
Don't reply to that email until you wait till the next day.
That's beautiful. So first of all, get peaceful in yourself. Do whatever you need to do. Breathe, you know, take a breath. Okay, so the first thing is to actually get semi-peaceful, right, which is sometimes hard to do when the conflicts are big. The second thing is just for a moment step back and see what that person, what they're saying and where it's true. Like look at theirs. Remember in debate you had to look at both sides of the problem?
Of course, you never knew which side you were going to be on.
Exactly. Well, the same thing with conflict. If you can stop for a moment and say, all right, so my child says, I think my room is my problem. I don't think it should be clean. And a parent says, cleaning your room is very important to me. Right? So there's a number one conflict.
Right.
Now, both of them are right. Right? The child believes, let's say he's 14-year-old, says, hey, what I do in my room really is my business.
Right. Let me just ask, what would a possible solution be if you want to keep your room in that condition, keep the door closed at all times?
That's a beautiful solution. Now, some parents wouldn't agree to that, you know, but that's when so the first thing to do is breathe. Second thing to do is state your problem in it. So a parent says, I have a problem with your room being messy. How do you feel about it? And the child would say, I don't really care, probably, right? Or it might be in his head, I'm doing it to, you know, get you upset, or whatever the reason is. Then you sit down. Third step is sit down and come up with possible solutions. One of them could be close your door. One of them could be you clean it on Friday before grandma comes. Another, so you just come up with a bunch of solutions, and then you agree to a solution for a small amount of time, right? And see how that works. And then agree to disagree. Really say, you have a point of view and I have a point of view. Both of them could be true.
You know, I've got to tell you about an incident that I'll never forget with my grown son. When he was a teenager in junior high school, he would always go into study with the television on.
Okay.
I never could study as a kid. I was always distracted with music or television. He was bringing home A's and B's, and he said, Dad, I can do it.
It's working for him.
And you know what? His mom and I talked about it, and we decided, you know what? What's good for you wasn't good for us, but you're doing well, so keep the TV on.
That's a way that you guys did conflict resolution without having any craziness occur.
All right. Beth, thank you so much for being with us. It's always fun. For more parenting pointers, call Redirecting Children's Behavior South Florida, the number 954-483-8021.